Hello and welcome to another update video about Coti. Just want to give you a quick update. Don't really have much time because did a lot of videos already today, but if you guys wanted another Coti update, so I thought, come on, let's do it. And well, I did a video today when we already broke above 4.4, well, 40 cent really, and we got all the way up to nearly 44 cent at the time. I think that was here, and we at the time did look at a rebounds from that resistance pretty much here at 44 cent. Did mention it in that video, and we couldn't quite get higher. That was basically we managed to get through the neckline here, the 40 cent of that W pattern of that, well, double bottom pretty much, and then we managed to get higher. 44 was another resistance level. We managed to get above it. I did say in that video, when Bitcoin behaves and gets possibly above 44,000, then we could break higher, and we did that. Really surprises me how Coti performs so well at the moment. But my price target that I then gave you was, the first one was 50 cent, and the reason for that was because 50, that was back here in March, I think it was, that was our price, 50 cent. And you know, I think we can get higher, but maybe not initially. I think there will be a retracement coming very shortly, at least a short one. I don't know how far that goes here with Coti. I think, you know, looking at the target from that cup and handle, which I, you know, gave you as well, and it's just take from that neckline here. Let's just do it roughly, just to repeat it. And to be on the conservative side, let's just add it to the breakout point of that handle here, and that would take us to around 62. I think earlier today I said 64, but you know, I would say we can certainly get to 60 cent, and that is quite a bit of a price increase. But we need to understand that Coti, in contrast to some other cryptos, hasn't really seen that high this year yet, because, you know, Cardano was already much higher, for example, broke out of that pattern already much earlier, and Coti hasn't. Coti is just doing that at the moment, and it seems to really lead the way at the moment. I think there's a lot of anticipation what could be happening at the Cardano summit, that there might be some more details about the partnership announced. So there's a little bit of that anticipation here, but there have been a lot of bullish news and positive news in the past few days about Coti as well. But let's be honest, Coti hasn't really broken out yet this year, and it seems to be doing that right now. But 50 is an important level. We were there already in March, and maybe to get a little bit of orientation here on the 4-hour chart where we are currently in overbought territory on the RSI, which indicates to me that there will be a little bit of a retracement now at the 50 cent level. I don't think we'll just go through like that. It's a bit too obvious, I think. But it just shows that we are in an uptrend, so we might drop a little bit from here, but certainly will possibly stay above the 50 line, which indicates that we are still bullish. MACD made a bullish cross down here, basically predicted that move to the upside here, and also on the ADXD trend indicator, we can see that how the green line is now above the red line, and similar to the MACD, we made a bullish cross here on the 22nd of September, and that's on the 4-hour chart. What is sometimes useful to look at really is the Bollinger Bands, because, you know, it can help us understand when we are, let's say, overextended, when we've broken out of the Bollinger Bands, which then indicates that we could drop to the downside again. And we can see, well, we are not really, whenever we broke out of the Bollinger Bands, we certainly, it moved with us, so it was not like here on the 4-hour chart at least, and like an overextension where we had to break back in. So we are actually still sort of at the edge of the Bollinger Bands, which is fine. That is just indicating that we are in an uptrend, pretty much similar as we were here. Sometimes you get this huge bounce out of the Bollinger Bands when you then snap back in. For example, here you could see that was back in August, where we had that huge pump. We were just overextended, broke out of that upper band, and then snap back in. That is usually what happens if your price increases too fast, or there's this huge price drop like this one here. Again, here we bounced out, broke out of the Bollinger Band, the lower band, and then snapped back in. And yeah, I think there's not an immediate risk that that happens, because you can see here on the 4-hour chart where we had a big move. It wasn't too much. Yeah, it seems to go with the Bollinger Band. So that's not immediate, you know, that doesn't mean that we necessarily need to snap back in. I still think there might be a bit of resistance before we go up, purely because we are in overbought territory on the 4-hour chart. RSI, let's take a final look maybe at the daily. People obviously always ask, you know, obviously here on the daily, it looks like we are on the daily Bollinger Band. We seem to be a little bit overextended. So that indicates to me, yes, there will be a little bit of a bounce back potentially, like we had it here. So I would expect something like that here back in August, where we had that pump to the upside. And then because we just came out of the Bollinger Band, of the upper band, the next candle was then a red one, took us down again to probably the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. So I don't want to, you know, it's just pure speculation at this case, because the retracement hasn't even started. But let's just assume there will be a retracement. I think we could from here go down to the 41 cent level again, because it is then similar to what happened back here. Whoops, we went all the way up there, and then we pretty much went down to the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, pretty much exactly. Yeah, no, pretty much exactly. Yeah, it was here the 32 cent, managed to get up to 40, and then broke down to 32 cents. Actually need to go a bit higher, but it doesn't matter. So it was the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level that we hit back then. That's typically, or oftentimes, what happens, you know, is often that these retracements go back to around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. And it would surprise me, to be honest, if we just go through here. It could happen because of the anticipation before the you know, the Cardano summit, for example. But I think technically you can't expect much more on a day, you know, 30% to the upside. I think there will at least be a little bit of a consolidation now, even though it could be just a short one, maybe drop back down to 45 or so. That was the last resistance level. And then from then move up. But yeah, it's a strong uptrend, certainly. And if Bitcoin really continues its move to the upside, I think there could be some exciting times happening here. I think the next target gave it to you was 60, at least 60 to 65, somewhere in that range. That would then complete basically that cup and handle. And someone in the comments asked me about, is there an even bigger cup and handle on the weekly? Let's just take a quick look. Well, it is pretty much that one that we, I think it's probably that one. And that is the one that we're just breaking out of. So I think that is that one. So it's pretty much visible on the daily as well. Don't see another one. But here on the daily, you can see it as well. That is the cup and handle that we're currently breaking out of on a larger scale. Yeah. Cup, handle. First breakout attempt failed, but now the second pretty much moved to the upside. But there's another resistance level here. You could even think that might be one big cup shape here. If that was the case, I mean, it's not perfectly round, but if that was like one cup, pretty ugly cup, but let's just assume that would be one. So you have a cup here, then we have that handle, or maybe even if we zoom out, that could be the whole cup still, you know, with a bit of fantasy. And then we could get a retracement here, as I said, maybe down to that 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level. Maybe even if we extend that trend line further up, maybe down to that trend line here, because that is a valid one. That was an ascending trend line. Maybe we could hit that here and then move up from there. That's why I think there might be retracement here to the, yeah, a little bit down to maybe 45 cents or so. And that would be then from that larger cup shape, that handle, and then up. But that's pure speculation. Could be something that might be emerging in the next few days. We'll see. But it looks really good. That whole thing looks really good just before a further breakout. So nice. If we break above 50, that's the level we need to watch now. All right. Hopefully you liked that update. If you did, please smash the like button, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.